Did Israel secretly attack NATO nation Azerbaijan to form front against Iran? An Iranian diplomat has alleged that Tel Aviv was deliberately trying to create a provocative situation by dragging Tehran into a conflict with Azerbaijan. Iranian Ambassador to Russia Kazem Jalali accused Israel of waging a psychological warfare and trying to promote their interests.
In the name of God, the gracious, the merciful, our armed forces general staff today announced that in some areas others were attacked. It's very likely from the Zionist regime.
And they might be seeking to instigate a major incident similar to the situation that unfolded earlier today in Nakhchivan. Our country's General Staff of the Armed Forces then issued a clear statement confirming that we did not strike Nakhchivan.
And there was no justification whatsoever for striking it down. Therefore, in the very same statement issued by our General Staff, it was clearly indicated that it is highly probable the Zionist regime and other parties are undertaking these provocative actions with the specific aim of embroiling us in conflicts with our neighboring countries.
You already know that this is a psychological war, and they are attempting to dominate their own narratives through their respective media outlets. However, our armed forces are conducting their operations with great intelligence, and we are certainly making every effort not to waste our ammunition unnecessarily.
Azerbaijan's foreign ministry on Thursday accused Iran of carrying out a drone attack on its exclave of Nakhchivan. The ministry said in a statement that one drone crashed near the airport in Nakhchivan and another one near a school, and that 2 civilians were injured.
By Iran against the territory of Azerbaijan, a terrorist act has been committed against the state of Azerbaijan.
The territory of the Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic has been attacked by the Iranian state with unmanned aerial vehicles.
The targets of the attack were civilian facilities. Nakhchivan International Airport, its terminal building, a school and other civilian targets have come under treacherous fire from Iran. The Azerbaijani state resolutely condemns this despicable act of terrorism.
Those who committed this must be immediately held accountable. They commit acts of terror. We all remember well that these despicable individuals who carried out this act of terror against us will regret it. They should not test our strength, those who want to test our strength.
Their heads were completely shattered. This was achieved through the relentless force of an iron fist. And today's unfolding events will undoubtedly bring forth the very same devastating outcome.
Therefore, an action plan concerning this specific matter needs to be carefully prepared. All necessary instructions have already been provided. The Iranian ambassador to Azerbaijan has been summoned to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. A formal protest note will be officially issued. Other significant diplomatic measures will also be implemented. Our successful forces concerning the border, Ministry of Defense, State Border Service.
Earlier, Iranian military official has claimed that the attack to Saudi state oil giant Saudi Aramco's refinery was an Israeli false flag operation. Many are now believing if the current war in Iran is a plot by the US and Israel to draw Gulf nations into a conflict that may ultimately leave them alone on the battlefield.
A troubling question is beginning to circulate across the Middle East. Is the current war with Iran a plot by US-Israel to draw Gulf nations into a conflict that may ultimately leave them alone on the battlefield? That warning comes from Saudi journalist and political analyst Adwan al-Ahmari, the editor-in-chief of Independent Arabia, who raised serious concerns during a televised interview this week. Speaking to Asharq News in Riyadh, Ahmari suggested that not every attack targeting Gulf states may necessarily come directly from Iran. Instead, he said, a growing hypothesis circulating among regional observers suggests the war itself may be designed to pull Gulf countries deeper into the confrontation. According to Ahmari, some analysts believe the conflict could be an American-Israeli strategy to implicate Gulf allies in the fight. The fear, he suggested, is that regional states could become frontline participants while Washington later declares victory and steps away. Ahmari described a scenario in which the United States might announce within weeks that its objectives had been achieved. If that happened, Gulf states could find themselves facing an open confrontation with Iran without the full backing of Washington. Such fears reflect what Ahmari described as a growing erosion of trust between the United States and members of the Gulf Cooperation Council. The concerns come amid a swirl of unverified claims and conspiracy theories circulating online and in regional media. Among them are allegations that intelligence agents linked to Israel may have attempted operations designed to provoke wider escalation. Ahmari referenced claims promoted by political commentator Tucker Carlson, suggesting that Saudi Arabia and Qatar had arrested alleged Mossad agents planning attacks. Those claims remain unverified, but the mere circulation of such allegations highlights the level of anxiety now spreading through the region. Ahmari also argued that even dramatic military actions against Iran may not fundamentally alter the balance of power. He pointed specifically to the Islamic Revolutionary Corps, widely known as the IRGC. The IRGC is not simply another military formation. It is an elite ideological force created to defend Iran's ruling system and maintain the country's revolutionary political order. Unlike Iran's conventional armed forces, the Guard Corps operates as both a military and political institution. Ahmari warned that removing individual leaders or damaging parts of Iran's military infrastructure would not necessarily dismantle that structure. In his view, the IRGC would eventually rebuild its capabilities and emerge stronger. He argued that even eliminating Iran's supreme leader would have limited impact if the Guard Corps remained intact. Similarly, he said, destroying parts of Iran's nuclear program would not permanently weaken the system that supports it. According to Ahmari, the real question facing Washington's allies is far more fundamental. What exactly are the United States' objectives in the war with Iran? And how long is the conflict expected to last? When the campaign began, President Donald Trump suggested it could be completed within 4 to 5 days. That timeline quickly shifted. Officials then suggested the operation might last 4 to 5 weeks. Now, according to recent remarks from U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the campaign could be open-ended.
Iran cannot outlast us. We're going to ensure through violence of action and our offensive capabilities and our defensive capabilities, as I said, that we set the tone and the tempo of this fight. That's why stories and speculation about different things that try to make it look like we're limited in what we can do, the only limits we have in this is President Trump's desire to achieve specific effects on behalf of the American people. And that's why we don't talk about, you can say 4 weeks, but it could be 6, it could be 8, it could be 3. Ultimately, we set the pace and the tempo. The enemy is off balance, and we're going to keep them off balance. And we know their ability to shoot versus our ability to defend. That difference gets wider and wider every day. Our defense gets better. Their offensive capabilities diminish. As we are going into ammunitions that we, as we said, have tens of thousands of and can drop unlimited supplies on with even more effects than the standoff emissions we have now, which is why when we say the throttle's going up, the throttle's going up, and it's going to stay on high. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
For Ahmari, that uncertainty creates a dangerous strategic vacuum. Not only are regional allies unsure of the endgame, he said, but even members of the U.S. Congress appear to lack clarity about the administration's objectives. At the same time, Iran has continued launching strikes targeting Gulf countries that host American military facilities. For Gulf states watching from the front lines, the stakes could not be higher. If the conflict expands, they may find themselves at the center of a regional war. And if Washington ultimately steps back, they could be left facing Iran.